Good morning, Franz. How you doing? Conclave stirs first. Nap was an early arrival, followed by fantasy, followed by Kavach. We haven't seen you in a while. Hello, friend. And then Cora, and then Conk, who's somehow still first time traveler. And then Necromancer. Thank you for the hydrate, Conk. I have already taken my medicine, it seems. I had it set out, and now it's gone, so clearly I consumed it. Wesal, mein friend. I'll get the pronunciation right one day. I know I probably butchered that, but hi! Hello, my friend. I have wizard powers when it comes to sniping first, apparently. Yep. What we're doing today, I have no idea. I didn't get a lot of sleep. I got dragged into a rabbit hole of going through my old files. Let's take a look at the word count for the Yggdrasil project, which is everything I have ever written, and I still haven't put all of it in there. And that equates to 1,489,444 words. That's just a lot of words. It is 75% right. Cool. It's more than I thought it was. I found some stuff in my files that I had forgotten about. I had a couple of archives of old role plays uh, from like a website from a long time ago, and yeah, they're the precursor to the original. How to explain this? They're the precursors to the original Angels that resulted in the Demora that then inspired this character. Yeah. I also found a piece of writing from 1998 that I thought I had lost. Free from Frey, Frey, Fry, Frey, friend, Frey, free, friend. I can't. Frey. This is why I'm so bad at linguistics. And then I look at Gamey builds, and he's got like his own language. His writing system is very Demora coded. Or just Frey. So friend, frond, frond, cool. We're back to Franz. But speaking of the writing department, we've got a couple of pieces, and they're all from the same book, which constitutes the largest sum of my projects. Let's go look at the Witch Hunter Society folder. I keep calling it Witching Hour, but it's Witch Hunter Society. 965,070 words I've written for this particular series. I get the words out eventually. Fantasies. Boop, necromancer, snoot. Oh, my lord. The E isn't silent. Look, there's a lot of words that I am really bad at. Thank you for the hydrate, Cora. But yeah, Witching Hour has a lot of words in it. Most of the words that I've put into my projects are in Witching Hour / the Witch Hunter Society. I've got everything as far back as 2008. I think most technically, the very original version of this was written in 2007. And Magi Nation, I thought was older or younger than Witching Hour. Like, I thought I'd written it afterwards. It turns out that I had written it as early as 2006. It's been so long, I forgot when I wrote things. But I let you stay in the crypt. Oh, that is a cute emote. But yeah, today I have no idea what I'm going to work on. Because we finished Tom. If you guys saw my my studio post. We finished Tom. I could technically work on this. This is from 2017. When I first made it in Paint Tool Sci, my computer was just like, I can barely run this. No, I'm sure she didn't boop you that hard. Can work on getting me a number for the commission. That largely depends on how we want to set the whatchamacallit. Set up the file. Hold on. Let's just do this. We'll do that. It's approximately the right dimensions. So, I could do, like, a smaller portrait to, like dog, and then, you know, the like royal outfit. With the paws out, and then, you know, more things, clothes thrown. Could do that, or could do much closer portrait. With frilly collar, like that. So I'll go with close and far. Those are the two sketch options. If I asked you to paint the book cover from your book, would you take the commission? Yes. Depending on whether I feel like I'm capable, qualified, can manage. What did you have in mind? Book covers are much more expensive. Much more expensive because you have to get rights. Is one easier than the other? The closer one is easier and therefore cheaper. And will be a lot faster, probably. Yeah, I have more confidence in the closer up one. Plus, like, if I can get the head right, like if there's something in the references where I can just copy the head, it will be tremendously cheaper. Okay. For price, let me think about it. I'll get back to you. I don't like doing that online, like on stream. That's. So we'll go with near sketch. Ooh, far sketch makes it creepy. Those dog ears turned out pretty well
Efficacy
for like.
Says, test. Also, take your pills.
For that fast, they look like dog ears. The dog head looks nothing like dog head. I tried. A street and a hydrate from Neff. Everybody take your meds if you've not taken already.
Cora Huroda says, fish.
Fish! Right in the middle of the stretching, just eke out the word fish! I am working on being faster with the art stuff. We all know
Necromancer
this.
Dark says, sticks.
Fish sticks! Alright, I will save this in 2026. And this will be the mission.
Necromancer Dark says, on.
This is 03.
Necromancer Dark says, the. Necromancer Dark says, table.
You just wasted your points.
Cora Huroda says, off.
So what is wrong with you guys? I gotta use a party while he's still here. Fish sticks on the table. Off. On.
Necromancer Dark says, on.
Oh my goodness.
Necromancer Dark says, maximize. Necromancer Dark says, have our tea.
James May. Cheese. are troublemakers. They're in full gremlin mode. I just quickly switched to Obsidian, and I read a single line from the
Cora Huroda says,
2008
we must have our tea with have our tea.
the 2008 Witching Hour, and I'm just like, cringe. So bad. Ugh. It's so painfully bad. Just to give you guys an idea, you're not going to get to see any of that writing, but those are all the files. I'm using Obsidian because Scrivener was taking too long to load, and would sometimes completely freeze because this file is so big. And this was just Witching Hour. I haven't even started linking the files yet. So my I'm the trouble starter. I am the trouble starter, the Punkum instigator, Firestarter by the Prodigy. Yes, I got that. 400 plus 450 stars for Ross Riders. He's streaking. Streaking right across the sky. He's having a good time. 60 stream streak. Holy shit. Ross! Is that your record? Like, your best record for a streamer? Hey! Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, sadly, my node graph is not really connected much. Technically, it's connected nothing. Wait, how do I get back to that? Crap. Show me my node graph. How do I get back to the node graph? Oh, there. Then there's only one thing connected, and that's because there's some characters in that file that are pretending to be a connector. that doesn't actually exist. So nothing is connected out of all of the files that I've created, and I'm pretty sure it's not even actually showing all of the files that I created in this graph. I don't know why, but it feels like there should be a lot more than that. Fridge, I forgot to buy milk or something. Oh, you forgot to buy milk for something, and I think it was supposed to be frick, but I read it says fridge. Your fridge betrays you. There's no milk in it. Yeah, one of the things I really like about this is the node graph, and once I start interconnecting things, it'll really start coming together. You're eepy and angry? You're probably angry because you're eepy. Or are you just angy? Are you angy or angry? But yeah, the only reason there's this one connector in there is because of the one file from that RP that I mentioned. Where it's pretending to be a thing. It's pretending to be a connector. Nope, I still haven't gotten rid of it. Oh. That's gonna be a lot of editing. I'm using the find and replace, so I guess what I had done when I copied this out of this forum that I was part of is I just copied the website, like the full page, so it grabbed a whole bunch of code. And sometimes in the middle of that code, there will be a word from the post. So now I have to like select it all in a particular way and find and replace all of these little bits. Like right now, I'm removing 101 pieces of code, and that's just one little bit of it. I have to find that connector. It's bothering me. Did I find it yet? Nope. God damn it. Where is it? It's the only thing I don't like about Obsidian is that I can't use square brackets. I like to use square brackets for things to delineate delineate different thoughts. I don't know how to explain it, but when I'm writing a document, I like to use square brackets for things that I want to emphasize, but also like keep separate from other bits of information. So like places where I have to replace something, I just my placeholder will be like square brackets instead of round brackets, because round brackets can get used for a lot of other things. It's hard to explain. And so a lot of my files also have these random square brackets in them, and of course the square brackets are the connectors in Obsidian. And so I have to go through the files and take all of those out. The find and replace all makes it really, really fast. And by really, really fast, I mean probably 10 times faster than it would have been, but it still takes a long time. You're having a good day today. That is great. These posts have never been spell checked, and they were written like... God, when was this forum made? I don't even know. I don't even know anymore, guys. I don't know how old this stuff is. I think it predates the roleplay website that I was part of. The one that so badly damaged me emotionally. Emotional damage! I think it predates that one, so it was in between Gaia and this other place, I think, but I am very likely wrong. I found it! I think I found it. I found it! Sparkling trauma? The trauma! Yep. Yay, I found it, and I think I got rid of most of the bullshit. Sorry, I didn't think I would just suddenly start doing this. It doesn't help that there's like random URLs like littered throughout the text, and it's indiscernible from the rest of the walls of text. That's what I get for making lazy files. What was I trying to do here? We can close these. Yeah, so I got rid of that one little connection, so now there's no connections. But these are all of the files just for Witching Hour alone. So much work. So little progress. Doing some text munging? Yeah. I'm not sure what munging is, but whatever it is, I'm probably doing it. I don't know that song, Ross. You should share it in music. I am going to put on my sweater because I'm getting cold. Put on my dad's old sweater that was made by Grandma. It's inside out. Kavach, what is munging? Also, is there going to be craft night tonight? Do you know? Munge, computer term. Potentially destructive irrevocable changes to a piece of data in a file. It's sometimes used for vague data transformation steps that are not yet clear to the speaker. Yeah. Moving punctuation to HTML tags, data. Yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. You're available for craft? Okay. Lets me know whether or not I should continue working on my koi fish. I do need to finish it. I want to do crafting on the stream at some point, but my desk is very shaky. Well, actually, this desk is the most solid I've ever had. I'm used to my desk being very shaky. What was I saying? I'm having a moment. My old age is catching up to me. Alzheimer's. I have to finish my koi fish. Granted, I think we were going to be doing painting of the figurines. Yes, crafting on stream. I'm used to my desk being very shaky. But this one actually isn't, so it might be great. I just have to figure out how to set up a camera, which is probably going to be my old phone, because I need the iPhone for tracking. And so the old phone, which has a shit-ass battery, I have to figure out how to connect to OBS and also like a rig to point it down at my desk. Easy for you. I don't know how to do this stuff. I'm a dumb. I want to find something to paint, but I'm just like, I don't know the paint. We could work on some character design or something, I don't know. Characters from Magi Nation? A draw it again meme. There's that one. Just like the best thing I'd ever drawn in my life, and I never finished it. ironically, from... This one was based on this picture that I drew a really long time ago. That I tried to digitize. Well, like, I drew it digitally, but I tried to do as, like, a really nice painting. But human faces are really hard. He's sad. This is the same character. And that character is actually from one of the RPs that I was just talking about. Fantasy is not sad today, and that is great. Yeah, the time when I drew this, I was really proud of it. And then I tried to digitize it. Like, I keep saying digitize. Normally I draw... Back then I drew on paper. And then I would scan it in. Let's see. I'm not sure if I just want to paint right over this. Rather than repaint it. Because this is like one of the best anime things I've ever drawn, and it's so old and unfinished. Where's the original file? Do I even have the original file anymore? It actually might have been in this... I have too many art files. Oh, wait, here's a cringe piece. Oh, will it open? Oh god, it's huge. Why is it so big? Oh, it's so cringe! Sorry, I made the noise again. I'm so sorry. I can't help it. This one's really cute, though. It's an ood. On desktop, also. So old and unfinished. Yep. Welcome to desktop. There's cringe, and then there's sincere cringe. I tried. See, this should be in writing to you. Oh god, you can't even frickin' read it. Ugh. Yeah, the stuff from whatever this was, the Ancients of Misteel. Yeah, Ood. I was trying to write Odd, and I wrote Ood, and it just kind of stuck as that creature's name. It's now an Ood. Yeah, the stuff from this story I haven't even transferred uh, into Obsidian. And then there's the comics that I have that I drew. I drew comics a long time ago as well. Some of my earliest quote unquote writing work is actually comics. And that doesn't have any word counts. I see the Dust Bunnies from Totoro, the Soot Sprites. You know, fan fiction is from nearly 30 years and I'm only starting to write. Yeah. I never really got fan fiction until I got into a fandom. But ironically, Makuro Kurotsuke, yep, the Soot Sprites. One of the things that I found last night, speaking of cringe, very cringe fan fiction, my Dragonlance fan character. Everybody has one. A self-insert fan character. Don't tell me that you don't, because I know somewhere in your childhood you have a self-insert fan character. I found it. As she was my Dragonlance self-insert fan character. You've got one somewhere, Kvatch. I know you do. It is absolute cringe. It will never see the light of day. I will make sure I delete the file before I die. No one is allowed to see it. It'll be in my last will and testament that file has to be deleted. I wrote this in 1998. I was 12. You can imagine just how cringe it probably is. You have one in the HP universe. He's a Hufflepuff who wants to become a herbologist. Yep. I actually have a... Technically, it's not a self-insert. I have a Harry Potter alternate universe version of my character Icarus from the website. But, you know what? You gotta embrace the cringe. The character's name was Taia Blueflame. And, she was the goddess of the blue moon. Because in Dragonlance there were the 3 moons that represented the 3 schools of magic. The red, white, and black moons. And you couldn't see the black moon. You couldn't see the blue moon either. And, she turned into a blue dragon. It's very cringe. But I was 12. And I was an avid Dragonlance fan when I was 12. I was actually an avid Dragonlance fan before that. Somewhere I have a piece of art. Let's look at, we're doing the, like, a cringe look through Say's life kind of thing. I don't think I actually have a digitized version of this thing. I'm looking. but I don't think I actually have one. Not on the computer. I have the original drawing somewhere. And, it's not bad. Like, I had designed a Dragonlance outfit, and my mom made me the cape. She couldn't make anything else because, let's be honest, when you're, like, 9, you're not very good at drawing. But my grandpa made me a sword, and it's actually above my door. It's made out of pine and cedar. But grandpa was a really good woodworker, so he made me a really cool sword. It's still cool. Hold on, I'll take a picture of it. Hi, Nugget. There. Got a picture of it. We'll upload it to my private Discord. And I'll post it here on stream for you guys. Oh, we have a Storm Center thing going on the phone. Yeah. Alright, where is Sadie's place? But yeah, I'm not afraid to admit I had a cringe-ass self-insert Dragonlance OC. It's very dusty. But that's the sword that Grandpa made for me based on my drawing. But it's made out of cedar and pine, so it's very, very, very soft. You can't hit anything with it. But I designed a sword, and Grandpa made it for me, and it's one of my prized possessions. I painted it myself. I do have art of the Harry Potter AU character. I believe I've shown it to you as well. Oh god, there's the banner that goes with the RP guild that I was part of that was the spawn of the angelic characters that made up the Demora characters. Going through some of these old files, like, it really interconnected stuff together as well. Like, it was crazy looking at some of the old things that I had forgotten about. Where is the Harry Potter AU character? It's here somewhere. 2008 is too far back. There's no way. Ah, this one. Found it. Going through Say's cringe past. I'm gonna close the sword. The wall is very dusty. He was in Gryffindor just because I couldn't figure out which one he should be in, and also, like, well, he's really smart. He tends to just be really brave instead, and doesn't use his brains very often. He's more like punch first, think later. Just, he's usually punching while overthinking, and that usually results in very bad luck because it's a bad mixture. You don't think while punching. And he had a pink wand because I like embarrassing him. Reminds you a bit of the Master Sword from Zelda. It was probably more related to the Thundercats sword. It's probably more inspired by by Lion-O's sword. A perfect police officer? Yeah. Yeah, actually, he was, the original Icarus is actually a military officer. So, the RP board, you were playing a video game character. So you were playing a character who was playing a video game, and his avatar was Icarus, but his player was Trace Noir, eventually real name Kazuya, but he cringe passed. So he had a different name. But he probably would have made a very good police officer character. And I created sort of new wand lore for Harry Potter. And while we dislike J.K. Rowling, oh, hold on, people are being loud again, so I'm gonna close the door. While we dislike J.K. Rowling for her anti-trans dog whistling bullshit, Harry Potter is still a good body of work and did a lot of good things for society, including encouraging youth to read. Anyways, so I'd created new wand lore, and they have these things called Livewood wands that are really, really powerful. And basically the tree is still alive within the wand. So it's kind of like you've got a mini version of that tree, so the older the tree, the more powerful it is. And he was a Japanese exchange student, and so he has a rare Livewood Sakura wand. And at some point, the only people who knew how to make Livewood wands were only Japanese, and they were wiped out in the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So he has one of the last few extant Livewood wands. And yes, it was indeed made from a sakura tree. And so I chose sort of like a pinkish white for the wood. And of course, little flowers. And he hated it. But he also secretly loved it because he's a tsundere. I mean, look at him. How could he not be a tsundere? So that's the Harry Potter AU version of Icarus. There's this character that I never got to use. Her name is Loon. And on the website, remember how I said there were 4 towns and you could choose which town your character came from? Well, later in a later update of the game, a 5th area was introduced. And I created this character. I never got to use her. But I kind of like her design. They were the, like, long weapon users. So they were sort of, like, halfway between, the like, tank, summer, town and the agility, high-speed spring town. But it didn't have, like, a season. I guess it would have been, like, between like springtime to flower and summer. It would have been summer halfway in between, and they used spears. Why am I even bothering to do that? Yeah, we'll leave it open for a little while. But yeah, I never got to use her. Maybe I'll end up using her somewhere else. Another character that I never got to use was Oreo. I did get to play him a little bit. I was trying a different art style here. It looks terrible. His head's too big. His head should be, like, 3/4 that size. How to fix this character in one go. Select head. Make smaller. Fixed. That's how you fix that character. I had big head syndrome in my early days as an artist. This is one of the few where, like, it just, like this one, turned out really well. I don't know why some of my pictures were really, really good and others were just awful. But the majority of them were pretty bad. And it seems like the ones where I spent less time worrying about the form, they worked out better. Oh, here's another one of Moon. There's another design. She had a kind of a lanky cat companion. Oh, the one whose head I fixed. Yeah, his name is Oreo, and he was an agility type character. And his color scheme was based off of Oreos and red velvet cake. I kind of want to do a redesign of him, actually. That was the year I'd done a lot of drawing, too. Like a lot of drawing. It's 2011. That was the year I did a lot of drawing and then a lot of crying. And then no drawing for the next decade. Yeah. It was both a good year and a bad year. I try not to think about the bad part. I had another drawing of Oreo that I was working on too. Where's that one? I better not have lost that one. Oh, yeah, it was in the same year. What was I thinking? I was wondering why I couldn't find it. But, a drawing I never finished. But I was, for the first time in a very, very, very long time, was trying a background. And this piece is titled The Prince of Cookies. So he really liked sweets. And it's probably one of the cuter things I've drawn. What to do? Oh man, there's so many choices. Oh my god, I found the map from the website. I had forgotten about these other areas that have been added later. So, these 4 areas with the city in the middle were the main towns. And then there were new areas added where you could create characters that were from those areas. I had forgotten about this. So Loon was from Sanjun. And Oreo was from Zhen. And I can't remember, Pfeffermin's was from Geartop. I didn't have characters from Hurian or Corantus, Underwood, or Colossal Forest. I don't know why all these areas were added. I can't remember. It's been so long, and these were all of these extra things were added just before shit hit the fan. But I had done the map for the website. I'd like to finish Prince of Cookies. I want to redo this one. Wait, I thought I saved this as a Clip Studio file. Hello? I thought I'd saved that. Apparently it decided to just save it as a JPEG. We'll save as Clip Studio format. Okay. I want to find the original Oreo file. It'll be a PSD file, I think. 2011. Tesla, did you just open my door all the way? He just opened my door all the way. Oh my god, is this the original Starcatcher picture? Oh no! Oh god, it's even worse. It's worse than I thought. You saw nothing. No, you didn't. You think you saw it, but you didn't see it. Why can't I find the picture of Oreo? Jesus. Here it is. I think this is the PSD file. Yes, it's the PSD file. Clearly I had done some edits and never saved it. Honestly, I like that one better. What's this? Oh, that's
Let's delete that layer. What's this one? That's the sketch. We can delete that layer. Shading. I was going for like a pencil style. I was really trying to like alter my style and make it something different. Oh look, the original hair is still there. Awesome. I can fix it. The reason I wanted the PSD file is because I was hoping to edit the layers directly, but I'll just save that and we'll go back to this little sketch here. But like, how would I do this character now? I like the big cuffs on the sleeves. Overall, like, yeah, this character is really good at screen catch. I thought this was a different picture of Starcatcher, but this was the very first time I tried to paint one of these. These are the same character, by the way. It's right up there with this one of Highwire. This one actually came after this one. I'm pretty sure. But it's so bad. Like, his hand is backwards. I think. No? It's just bad. Yeah, no, his hand's not backwards. It's just that bad. Tesla, why are you inside my coat? It's Hank. Why? I don't need you to put holes in the only lining I have ever made. So my coat's hanging on my door. Just gonna go back over here. I've got my door. And then I've got Kieran's coat hanging on the door. And Tesla is like up inside the coat with his little manky knife paws. Inside the coat. And I don't know why. That cat, man. I'll never understand him. Well, good luck, Ross. I might make an egg in a bowl today. But yeah, it's so bad. Cause you know, they're the same person. Spoilers, by the way. major spoilers. Where is this horror? There is a much earlier version of Starcatcher that was like the original inspiration for all the nonsense that followed. I think it's actually in the no category. Miscellaneous. No. Gaia. Gaia. It was in the Gaia era. It's nano stuff. Book covers. Could have sworn it was in here. because originally it was a contest entry. 2006 is too early. But it doesn't appear to be in 2008, which is when I joined Ianti. Oh, actually it is. It was the Akon t-shirt contest. The very original version of Starcatcher. These are the same characters. Same character. I can't keep looking at that one. It's painful. What else? There's something I was thinking about in relation to this. There's Lagoon. There's a file here called Make a Comp. I forget what that file actually was. I saw it, and now I've lost it again. Oh, it's in 2011, I think. Super Comp. Oh, I think this was supposed to be all of my characters. Literally all of my characters. So we had Marcus, Mint, Alex, Icarus, and there were supposed to be a whole lot more of them. This file would be, there would be too many characters. I kind of want to do it. Because I would have to add in... If I were to do this... If I were to do this, I would have to make a list. Oh, Vaughn is in here somewhere too. Where's Vaughn? Oh god, it's horrible. What even was I trying to do there? That's why that layer was turned off. Yeah, all the characters. So... Oh god, what did I just do to my interface? Workspace. Reset. I could make a list. Like these ones were pretty okay. But if I went with my RP characters, my mug was just taken by my dad, Cora. But thank you. If I were to do all of my characters, just my RP characters from the website, that place. It would be Icarus, Say, Lagoon, Mint. Pfeffermans. Pride. Loon. Oreo. I think those were all my characters from that place. And then there's Witch Hunter Society, who's Alex, Vaughn, Marcus, who are the 3 that are on here already. Then there's Sonia, Alfred, Eric, I think those are all the hunters. Leon. And then there's Nana and Gina. Those are the main characters in the Witch Hunter Society. If that file just included those characters from those 2 places, it would be this many. Arias, hi. How you doing? Those are my most major core characters from the past, the old website and Witching Hour together. And then there's let's zoom out of that again. Oh, and Isabel. Cora has redeemed a posture check, everybody on Shrimpline Spines. Give yourself a little wave back and forth. Stretch out your neck and your sides. Just give yourself a little wiggle like seaweed in the ocean currents. You get ready to go out. Are you having a good day, Arias? It's good to see you again. I miss you, friend. We're looking at old cringe art. You probably saw some of it go by. And yeah. This scene and this scene are the same scene, just, you know, like a 12 years apart in art skill. This picture is actually from where's my file folder? This picture's from 2011. I had forgotten about this picture. If I add in the characters from Imagination, we have Rowan, Kieran, Gavin, Aaron, Gunther, It's been so long that I can't remember some of the characters. Where's my obsidian? This is what obsidian is for. Except I don't think I actually have any character notes. Oh, there is one. There is one set of notes with character information in it. How could I forget about these two characters? There's Kisuke and Vincent. Right, Riker and Lydia and Aldor. Aldor is not exactly a main character. As a matter of fact, he's designed for you to hate him. He's a piece of shit human being. He wouldn't even qualify as being on this list. Because he's more like a tertiary character, but he plays a prominent role in the beginning of the series. Family friend wants to meet up for coffee. Ooh. Face is itchy. Yeah, I was working on a super compilation of all of my characters. It was a very ambitious project, and clearly it didn't go very far, because I only got 5 characters. He's not allowed to be there. But yeah, just character-wise alone, there'd be too many. I would probably actually take out Riker and Lydia from that list. But just the Witch Hunter Society alone has so many characters. And then, of course, we can't forget Little Nameless. So trying to buy another set of lenses for Sturmwacht. Lenses? Do I have enough backup to get rid of all of these? I do not. This is back in the day when I was doing that, like, sketchy sketch style. Dog. I have done literally nothing for the last hour and a half. Why do you people tolerate this? My bar has disappeared again.
Necromancer Dark says, dog.
Dog. And then there was a more adult version of Oreo. Burn the witch! Oh, contact
Cora Huroda
lenses.
says, the end is never the end.
Conk, thank you for the hydrate. I have to wait until tea arrives. I need to get new contact lenses as well for Conquest. And actually not get makeup on the lens this time. I don't understand how I managed to do that.
Necromancer Dark says, okay, I'ma go get some cigarettes and milk now. I'll be back in 10.
Fisk. Ah! There is absolute chaos happening. Alright, I wanted to see if I could find... Do I have a picture of... Starcatcher? You know that really creepy picture of Starcatcher before? Same character. Same character. Same character. Nose. 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 I can't even. It's so bad. Ugh. Alright, see you later, Kavach. The ones that got our mesh and are bright orange yellow rip my eyesight. Fair enough. They're shipping from Canada. I still really can't find anything I would like for, Yeah, I still don't have my tea yet, that I would like for Nameless. But, also, I can only wear, toric lenses, apparently, so... Get tea faster. It was steeping. I'm actually really hungry. I was hungry at like 5 this morning. This is one of those fun characters where his hair is basically pure white. And that's really hard to paint.
Necromancer Dark says, okay, say, turn me, like way up. Really loud. Okay, thank. Dad, hurry up. Get tea faster. Move. Oh, we're going to make you talk on stream.
You're gonna make me talk on stream? You're gonna make Havarti talk on stream? I'm confused! Don't break your poor say. I've got to approach this the same way I approach the white cat for lots of layers and little streaks.
Necromancer Dark says, we're going to make Dad talk on stream if he doesn't hurry up and bring tea.
Barrow Father used confusion. It was very effective. So I have a weakness to confusion. Take 8d6 psychic damage. He looks a bit French, yeah? Does he look like he could be from France? I hope so, because he is. Key! Thank you.
There's a squirrel furtling around at the bottom of the bird feeder. Tesla's intensely watching it.
Apparently there's a squirrel playing around in the water just above the top of the bird feeder, and Tesla's just like enjoying cat TV. He doesn't look like he's a raging asshole. He can be. There. I have 4 hydrates to make up, so there's 1. I'll get to the others. Please don't drown me. I would like to enjoy my tea. Yep. There's the word of the day, fertiling. It means to rummage.
Cora Huroda says, you can't make me.
I could just not drink. Suck it. Don't tempt Cora with a good time. Yeah. Vaughn's really good at being kinda dickish, but in a way that you're like, yeah, he's lovable. Actually, just struggling here. I hate it. I hate it. I hate everything I did there. Not real struggling here. I'm technically undead. What? I was dead once, but I got better. She turned me into a newt. A newt? I got better. For some reason, that English guy turned Scottish. Don't know how that happened. The lack of life in this other eye is really bothering me. Well, it's weird.
Cora Huroda says, fish, 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 fish.
Fish. You can tell I hadn't actually flipped it in a while. There's something seriously wrong here. For one, his eyes were too far apart. Venga bus of fish. Fish, 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 fish. Now it's in your head forever. Do another flip. Flop. Flip. Flop. Flip flop. Not mine. I am the special. What, your eyes aren't too far apart? One of the former Prime Ministers of Canada, Stephen Harper, his eyes were really close together, and I always just wanted to punch him in the face. Every time I saw a picture of him, I'm just like, I just want to punch that man. His eyes are too close together. Drawing the other eye is always the hardest part. Of course, I was accidentally using the pen tool. Yep.
Cora Huroda says, money, money, money.
Money, money, money. Money. Is that better? Did that kind of... This eye is really nice. It's this eye that's the problem.
Necromancer Dark says, money for nothing and your chicks for free.
Money for nothing and your chicks for free. Is this a reference I don't understand? Because it's rap? Absolutely. Very likely. More than possible. The thing with eyes is if you don't get them right, the whole picture can just look so wrong.
Necromancer Dark says, Money for Nothing by Dire Straits.
Oh, okay. You need to share that one in music so that I can learn about it. Expand my musical horizons. I don't know what it is about this eye that I can't get right. Maybe it's because there's no shine in it? Oh.
Necromancer Dark says, posted and tagged.
Merci. I will listen to it later. It's all wrong. Can't get it right. Now he looks cross. God damn it. I'm giving up on ever catching you. So I'm going to live it up with Havarti being my voice. What? Oh, the star shells. It's because fantasy never spends her star shells. I think I'm making it worse.
Cora Huroda says, star shells go BR.
Brr. Fuck it. You know what I'm gonna do? Whoops. I want to see what's wrong with this other eye. Why can't I get this? The only way we're gonna learn is by actually doing it. Wait, are you gonna cut his eye out with your wooden sword? He's gonna get splinters. Not quite what I had in mind. The shape was just straight up wrong, and for some reason I couldn't reconcile it unless I saw the other one flipped around with the wrong one at the same time. It'll still probably look really bad. They're sisters, not twins. That's the trick with eyes. Eyes and eyebrows are very particular that way. you see the lack of symmetry, but also at the same time you don't. This is probably still going to be bad. It was not as bad as it was. It's not as bad as it was. That helped. It helped a lot. Get rid of that other eye. You don't learn anything unless you do it. So if you just copy and paste it, you'll never be able to figure out what your problem is. It's looking a tad cross-eyed right now, but we'll fix that. I'm sure. Probably just fuck up his eyes again. My nemesis, the nose. Hey, Hera. This is Von Guillory. I know it's hard to read his signature. He's a character from my book, The Witch Hunter Society. We were looking at a bunch of old cringe art from my past. No, you don't, because I haven't published the book yet. I would be surprised if you did know him. Because that would have meant you would have found one of the, like, 3 places on the internet I have ever posted anything related to this story. He is. He's very handsome. This is a repaint of an earlier version that I did this year, or last year, rather. Which is a repaint of the version from 2016. That is his other self. Spoilers. This version, much better. Oh yeah, we met up on Saturday. Met up. And then, the very cringe artwork from many, many years ago. Where was it? I think I have to go... Hold on. We have to go find it again. What was it, 2012? Oh, 2012 was the more recent version. Oh, yeah. Here. Got it. Found it. God, why is my file explorer always not working? Here we go. Same character. That was 2011. It's Pain. These are all the same character as well. And then there's this one, which is a repaint of this one, and then previous versions. Because wind blows, yeah. If Clip Studio had a native Linux version, I would have switched to Linux already. But Clip Studio does not have a Linux version. I guess I'm gonna have to repaint that awful picture of Starcatcher now. But we went through lots of really old art. Some of it was really cringe, some of it was actually really good, and for some reason, my art ranged from really awful to really good, even in 2011. We have discovered this about ourselves. And this all came about because I was looking at all of my old writing files. Like, for example, this is one from that era. I was looking at all my my art files and my writing files together, and I have art files that can correspond to writing files. And I was taking everything from Scrivener and putting it in Obsidian. And I found stuff that I had forgotten that I had written, RPs that I had participated in, that had this character in one of them. He's an angel named Orathiel. And yeah, it's one of the prettier things I've ever drawn. And I never finished it. I think even today I probably couldn't reproduce that form with that much finesse. I don't know how I did that back then. I have no idea, but I've never been able to replicate it, and I've never been able to do it again. So it's on the draw it again list. Except I don't draw with line art anymore. So I don't know what to do. But it's very pretty. And then I just started working on this guy because I couldn't think of anything else. The eyes are still a little bit off. We'll get there one day. I forgot to put Loon in the Draw It Again folder. And Oreo. Let's remedy this. Wait, what is this document? Oh god, it's that cringe one. What was I looking for? Right, art. 2011, Oreo. Character designs that I would like to, like, rehash or revisit. And pieces that I want to actually finish, go and draw it again. That includes that super compilation. What is this file? Oh yeah, that one. What? Why do I have Good's rabbit? Oh, you have a migraine? That sucks. I had one of those the other day. Oreo? Oh, oh my god, I forgot. Forgot that Good's rabbit was named Oreo. Were you not here when I was talking about the character Oreo? This one? They're stress triggered, except they're crippling. Ah, that sucks. This is another form of Icarus. Oh, the velvet cake? Yeah. I really want to finish this one too. Well, I'm gonna have to repaint it because there's so much wrong with it, but I'm always here. Dun dun dun. Always here and always hoarding data. Oh, I forgot Lemon. This is another character from that website. I actually had one of these for each of my characters. Except for Loon, because I never got to play her. Loon doesn't have one. But I have one for Say. Thank you for the hydrate, Fantasy. Pride. Oreo. Mint. Lagoon. Mouthman. Problems there. Same with this one. His eyes are way too far apart. I tried a different style again, man. That's what I get. And then Pfeffermints, once again, another style. 2011 was like me trying every style I could get my hands on. And then Lemon, who ran around shirtless and tried to woo women and failed horribly at it all the time. The site seemed like a beta book talk group. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Unless you're talking about vicious girlies backstabbing each other over stupid bullshit, then absolutely. That's how shit went down. There were almost no males on the site. It was all girls, and it was very cliquey. And there were a couple of psychopaths who were, like, really high up in the hierarchy. It was the psychopaths that ultimately brought down the site. When someone's like, you stole my friends from me, how dare you, and then pretends to be your friend for 2 years, just so that they can make up lies over a long period of time in order to destroy you. Yeah. Yeah, that's insane. That's what happened. You wonder why I have trust issues. I'm much more open than I used to be, but that's because, like, the people at Conquest really helped me heal. People like Arias and Aline. They healed me. And so here I am now, back to streaming, doing art, taking commissions. You know, there's a possible future ahead for me as a animal portraitist. And now I'm even thinking of writing again. And I don't feel anguish when I look at pictures from back then. Like, I don't feel pain anymore. 2.5 years ago, if I had looked at those pictures today, like, if I had the ones that I looked at today and looked at those characters, I would have actually felt physical pain from how I was still feeling, even after reconnecting with the person who owned the site and getting an apology from them for how they behaved back then and how they treated me. Like, I wasn't perfect either, but the things that happened to me were beyond cruel. And, like, again, 2.5 years ago, if I talked about it, I probably would have been crying by now. So, that's how bad it was. The trauma. And, yeah, I don't hurt anymore, which is actually really nice. Like, I'm not even upset anymore about it. I'm not mad at those people anymore. It was a product of isolated web culture where you get like really cliquey groups, and we had no way to really moderate ourselves. Again, I was not perfect either. I participated in some of the bad behavior, and I recognized that, and I recognized it pretty early on and tried to stop it, and that I was seen as a hypocrite in some cases, so that it compounded with what ended up happening. It was just bad. And you know it got real bad when the owner of the site was kicked off of their own admin, and the site was literally stolen from them. Like, they were paying for it, and people kicked them out. So they had to go to the ISP and be like, look, I need you to shut this down now. I think that was the final straw. I heard about some things that happened at the end. And it was wild. That last part was like, holy shit. They literally stole your website from you. That's like hearing about the VTubers where, like, their manager, like, steals all their passwords and locks them out of everything. Like, that's a thing that happens to some VTubers, and it's insane. I don't know what they thought was gonna happen, but the site closed. Then there was like a pop-up version where eventually I got invited to like a reincarnation of it, and I think it was actually the people who had participated in the whole destroying of the site in the first place that invited me back to this other one. And when I tried to create my character Icarus that I had, I found out somebody else had taken the name already and basically created a version of him and was playing him. And I was like, what the fuck? So I just never went back. I tried to play Sayaka instead, and I couldn't deal with it. I very hardly ever played Sayaka on that website. Like, she existed, but I almost never played her. Icarus was my exclusive character. I had a bunch of them, but Icarus was the one I played the most. We're talking like 30,000 posts. And that was just on, like, the final version of the website, the one that got shut down. That was after we had already ported over from the Envision free boards, because somebody had hacked that one too. The day after I became a moderator. As a target, someone targeted a certain player on the Hate Machine, 8chan. And that player so happens to be the exact same one that caused all of the problems for me later on down the line. 2 years later. And guess whose RPs were the only ones that were deleted after the entire board was completely discombobulated and jumbled. They didn't think that we would be able to... They didn't think I was dedicated enough to move every topic back exactly where it was supposed to be, because we didn't have backups in those days. And mine were the only ones that were missing. Some of my best ones. Ones most important to my character. And you know what? I think they made the post on 8chan themselves. This is my conspiracy theory. I became a moderator. They got mad. They figured out a way to get some sort of angry revenge, and it just so happens that their friend, who was an admin, had their account hacked, and that's how the website got quote-unquote hacked by 8chan. It's not unearthed feelings, it's just like, this is the conspiracy theory, and I think I'm actually spot on. they had their friend's password, who was an admin. They logged into their friend's account. They fucked up the forum, deleted my RPs, and then made the post on 8chan about themselves being a trans role player. You know, just to make it authentic, right? And then 2 years later, shit hit the fan on my end, and everything fell apart for me socially. And then 2 years after that, everything hit the fan even further for the lead admin who owned the site. So the admin who had their account hacked was not the lead admin. But this person was the one who had planned my downfall for 2 years, apparently. And the whole thing that set them off was I became a moderator before them. I had no idea they wanted to be a moderator. Nobody had any idea that they wanted to be a moderator. If they had just asked. But because I became a moderator before them, and because I had played in roleplays with their friends, and their friends were like, ooh, new interesting person, let's play with them for a little while. You know, welcoming new members to the community. Like, that's so weird, isn't it? Apparently I was stealing someone's friends. I didn't believe until that day that you could steal someone's friends from someone. But now I believe you can absolutely steal somebody's friends, because that's what they did to me. They didn't just steal my friends, they stole my whole community. And it was terrifying. I literally came across someone who's very likely going to become a serial killer. If they're not already. You know how they say, like, you'll come across a serial killer at least once in your life, and you'll never know because they'll just randomly pass you by. You know, it could be a coworker or, you know, someone from high school or kindergarten or whatever, and eventually they become a serial killer. That person is that person for me. I was actually legitimately frightened that they were going to come after me in real life. On my YouTube channel, I would get, like, snide comments here and there that were, like, completely unwarranted. Like, people would say some of the worst things, and I would have to delete their comments and block them and stuff. For a couple of years. And because I insist on keeping my username, they knew who I was. No matter where I went on the internet. It was actually legitimately scary. I was afraid that they were going to try and fuck up my actual life if they found out who I was. And you know, like, I'm a little bit open about certain things, and there are people who know my real name that I don't know, like, physically in real life. Internet friends that I've never met before. And some of those people were on that forum that they knew my real name. So I had a legitimate reason to be frightened. And the only thing that was stopping them from coming after me in real life, or finding out who I was in real life and coming after me, was the fact that I was in Canada and they were American. So, like, yeah, man. I think I came across someone who would legitimately become a serial killer if they were pushed far enough. If they weren't already. So, I don't know what happened to that person, but I hope that their pillow is always hot, sticky, and moist on both sides. Look, 4chan is an interesting place. I go to 4chan sometimes. /y can be a fun place to go. That's where I actually found out about Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation and Bodazushi. That's where I saw the very first fan arts related to that. And then it started becoming more prevalent on Twitter. And it's like, what is this? And then I found the thing that I really love. in terms of literature. And the hiccups because of talking and drinking at the same time. But yeah, that's the story of my trauma, and the conspiracy theory behind it, and the fact that I'm pretty sure I've met a serial killer, or a would-be serial killer. There's no indication whether they are. But every time I see the word that they used for their character name, there are a couple of shivers, which is frustrating because I happen to actually really like the substance. I say substance, but it's object. And so whenever I see this particular object or see the word related to this object, I actually have a minor fear response, and I know I have this. It's PTSD is weird. So walking along a beach and you see a certain beach related object. I won't give much more clues than that. But, yeah. It's not so bad anymore, but, like, 6 or 7 years ago, it was still a bit rough where I would see the word and then I would feel really bad. Where I would see the object and I would feel really bad. But I healed, and talking about it now is like totally fine. It's just like an anecdote in my life that's just really interesting now. Like, I'm not upset by it anymore. Like, I'm totally good. So I don't want you guys to think that it's like upsetting me or anything. No. Now it's just an interesting anecdote. It's a tale. It's an experience. A negative experience, but it's an experience. But it's also proof that, like, really, no matter how bad things get, that you can recover from them. Sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes it takes effort. Sometimes it takes the right group of friends and a scary trip overseas by yourself to a fantasy LARP. See, this is why I recommend LARP, Ross. Because it literally healed me. You find the right group of people and it is literally healing. I still have some traumas from that. But having a conversation with Kit a little while ago, Kit from Skilltree, about this is why I just don't, like, step up and do a thing within the Dendronia group, is because I physically cannot bring myself to do so because of what happened to me in the past. That part of me is still a little bit scared. It's the leadership part of me that was damaged the most. So someone who likes to step up to the plate and get things done, you know, I was always the person who organized the parties and the get-togethers and like game nights and stuff, and that part of me is still a little bit damaged. So there is still damage. I don't think that'll ever go away, but because of you guys in this community, every day I heal a little bit more, because I have to be a leader. I'm the streamer. I have to be here entertaining, and I have to be reliable and on time, relatively speaking, because sometimes I'm not on time. But I have to be okay with that, and I have to be okay with, like, making mistakes and owning up to those mistakes. So the leadership part of me is healing through you guys, whereas the putting myself out there part of me was healed by the people at Dendronia, and that part of me was healed because Necromancer. That part of me was.
Necromancer Dark is hosting 5 guests.
Thank you, Necromancer. Part of me was healed because I decided to have the gumption to enter this contest that this guy on a YouTube channel was running. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try because I like making things and I want to make more things. Hey, you got Aki! And Typos Galore. I haven't seen Typos Galore in a while. Trexia 808. I don't recognize them. And Alf! You got Alf too! Very nice. You'll get a sub, and you'll get a sub! Welcome to NecroCon, everybody! Necromancer is really good and generous. I appreciate it. I would not be able to continue doing this without Necromancer, to be honest. It's not viable. Even then, like, I don't make a living wage doing this. I do this because I enjoy it, and hopefully maybe the right people will see and the channel will grow enough to where it is viable. But I also want to, like, I want to start making YouTube videos. I'm really getting close to wanting to do that. And seeing gamey builds and everything that he does, I'm like, how does this man have time for any of this? He's probably got, like, a full-time job. He's got a wife. He might have a kid. He hasn't mentioned it. Or he might have a kid on the way. He's old enough. And this man, he has too many talents. He needs to save some for the rest of us. And I'm like, I want to be like that. Why can't I be like that? Nothing's stopping me from being like that. I just gotta try harder. I gotta not nap. Napping is... I think it's I need to do a little bit more hustling than I do. Because I don't do any hustling. This is my hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Do, 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 do. Hey, Ross. We talk about heavy subjects here. I just talked about really heavy stuff. Really terrible trauma. It was probably the worst time of my life. And it led to the worst and darkest times of my life later on down the road because I couldn't get the help that I needed. And I didn't know what kind of help that I needed either. The medicine helped me quite a lot, which is why, like, I encourage people to go talk to a doctor. It is not weakness to see a doctor. It is not weakness to need medication. It is strength. It is strength when you have the power to go and get the help that you need. Having a broken brain is no different than having a broken arm or leg. If you need a cast to help you walk, or you need a cane because your hip's, like, permanently damaged, no one's gonna make fun of you. And if they do, they're just a jackass. And they're kind of a worthless sack of shit of human beings, so... doesn't matter. Take that cane and shove it up their ass. You're just making some food? That's good, that's good, that's good. Food is good. I'm so hungry. I was hungry at 4:30 this morning, too, and I tried to lay down and go to bed at, like, 4:50, and I was like, I am so goddamn hungry. Ah! It's okay to talk about the heavy things, but it's better to talk about the heavy things with a professional if you haven't healed. But know that I support you. It's better to take a step back and get help as opposed to just raving about it all the time or not doing anything about it. I know in the US it's really, really hard to get help. Especially since, like, the cost is so high. There's very few avenues to get anything, really. I understand that, which is why you have friends. And if you need to talk about stuff, we do have the Corner of Woe. You could always tag me, Ross, if you need help. Collected all level 1 emotes. Choo choo. Thank you, Necromancer, for the hype train. and the 5 gifted subs. You are a staunch supporter of this channel. I'll never understand why, but I still love it, and you were amazing. Listening to me thinks it's not a bug for why it can be hard to find mental health professionals. No, it's not. It's not a bug. It's done on purpose. Yeah. Well, Ross, if your family's a sack of shit, you need to figure out a way to forge out on your own and find a new family. It is a feature. It's very much a feature in the United States. Being sick and dependent is very much a feature in the United States. Being homeless as well, very much a feature. It's planned. Yes, yes. It is set up that way. And if you don't have money, you are absolutely dependent on them for everything, and that's what they want. Yes. Exactly. But those are really, really heavy subjects. But the point is to never give up. And if you can't get mental health help, I'd recommend the next best thing, which is make friends and go to a LARP or start a LARP or do a crafting night with some local friends. You know, find people in your local area who are into the same things as you are and get to know them. Which is why, like, we have craft night. You know, it's been very helpful. One of the biggest problems when I was living with Sai is we didn't know anybody in town, and the people that we did know in town were really flaky. And so getting a hold of them was virtually impossible. Hanging out with them was even more impossible. And it was just basically the two of us, and we were feeding off of each other's depression. And of course, like, she was having some medical problems which were causing really heavy mental health issues because of being medical problems that we didn't know how to fix, that required very specific kinds of medication, including the genetic testing like Necromancer had to get. And we found out that she was resistant, so she had to up her meds, and that was just before I moved out. And she seems to be doing better now. She seems to be doing a lot better now. And it's not because we separated or anything, it's because she finally got the right help that she needed. Yeah. Like, I know I am not genetically resistant to a lot of medications. I just have bad genes otherwise. Like, I'm pretty sure I cannot have kids. I've never tried, because I can't afford to raise children. But, you know, you also need the other half of the equation for that, too. You know, you kind of need a dude when you're a woman. And also the idea of pregnancy is absolutely horrifying and off-putting to me. As someone who's gender-neutral masc-leaning, I would rather be a dude. I just want to be a bean. Just let me be potato. I'd probably be a terrible parent anyways, because I'm so forgetful. I'd need a guy who wants to take care of the kids, a house husband, while I go out and, like, mow the lawn and shit. But back in the day, we used to call that a tomboy. I was just talking to my dad earlier about, I saw an episode from the Humanist Report yesterday where Americans are starting to say the quiet part out loud, where they're like, the time for peace is over. Peaceful protest has been doing jack shit, and it might come to, I have to put my life on the line to protect my democracy, and I'm willing to do that. And I'm like, this guy's like 26, but he's Gen Z. And, you know, the other day, Cora pointed out that he's also Gen Z, and I was just like, Gen Zs are in their mid-20s, and I am old now. And I was having a good laugh this morning about that. I'm sometimes get wondering when I'll have twins. Why would you have twins? Are there twins in your family? They want me to do transcranial magnetic stimulation. Oh, cool. They are they actually going to try that on you? I am fascinated by that because it's relatively new in terms of treatment. Yeah, getting yourself together as a millennial is virtually impossible. We experience what, like 4 financial crashes of various kinds in our lives. One of them being COVID. Like we can't get ahead. We literally cannot get ahead. And now like all of the young people are entering, all the Gen Z people are entering the workforce, and we have no experience, and companies don't like to take the old people because they're like, well, we can train the new people and make them stay longer. So we're just fucked. And I knew when I was 19 that I was fucked. I was born at the wrong time. If I'd been born 10 years later or 10 years earlier, I would have been fine. But anyone born from like 1980 to 1993 is just borked. Unless they're really smart and a programmer. Like Necromancer and Psy. They make bank. The rest of us are just borked. And until money as a concept goes away and everything is just provided, art will never really be valued in the way that it should be until after the artist is dead, because then you can't make any more art. They want to, but it requires a month of daily appointments, so it's very disruptive to life. You know what? It could be very disruptive to life in the short term, but it could be very productive to life in the long term. The question is the short-term disruption worth the possibility of having things do very well for you in the future? If you're not here every day, Necromancer, I won't be bothered. Like, I'll miss you, but I know that you'll be back in a month. It's your work and family and stuff too. I understand. I know you're always here, and I appreciate that, but if you need to take a month off from hanging out with us in order to do something that might help you for the rest of your life, bro, do it. Would your work be okay with that? Would your work be okay with like reduced hours? Because it's an appointment, right? Would you have to take a month off, or would you just be able to work shorter hours in the week? I mean, Sai was doing something like that. She went down to taking Wednesdays off when she was first starting to like fix her medication and stuff. When she was having really, really bad problems. And that seemed to help a bit. So, I mean, if your company is a good one, or even, you know, relatively decent, you could be like, hey, can I take reduced work to try and get this medical treatment? But, like, I still want to work. It's not like I'm disappearing. Because if it's an appointment and it's at the same time every day, then you know exactly when you're going to be on or off, right? I have to get my taskbar back. It's driving me crazy. Oh, taskbar, thank you. But yeah, I recommend doing the thing if you can. We'd have to figure it out. It would require federal involvement, cross-state unemployment, blah blah blah. Haven't done anything yet, but they're like, might be worth thinking about. It might. I mean, what's the research behind it, right? What's the science behind it? I'm very fascinated. I know what it is, but I'm not totally familiar with the procedure and like how it works and what it's supposed to do. I'll give you a minute to type up, but I have to go use a little demon's room. I'm about to explode. I'll be right back. Everybody get up and stretch. I'm back. I had to run all the way downstairs because my brother's in the shower. So if I'm out of breath, that's why. I don't know, the psychiatrist is just like, with people who are resistant, sometimes we see good success with it. Oh, okay. They just force part of the brain to activate, which I guess over time is supposed to help. I mean, fair enough if you have a part that's not seeing much activity because of your condition. If you force it to activate, it's like exercising a muscle, right? Apparently it's around the same area as your right thumb motor control. I guess they have you wiggle your right thumb to find where to target random facts. That's actually really fascinating. Brains are so weird. But they're thinking of using something like that to help people with like anxiety and stuff too. And that video I shared a while back about like our sixth sense, quote unquote. Where was it? Our science channel is so thoroughly used. I might have to break up the science channel into like the major categories, like history and sociology and I'm scrolling back looking for it. Scientists found our actual sixth sense on the 17th of December. So this one I found really fascinating because I was like, oh, that could probably help like Cheese, you know, because he has like anxiety problems and stuff, so. We're going to force exercise, the thing that shocks your arm to work it. Though hopefully it's more effective. Oh yeah, the like TENS units. What, the thing that I shared? That's the short on our sixth sense. Which is basically just our body realizing that it exists and your brain goes, oh! But they suspect it might be the cause for things like physiological anxiety. It's very, very cutting edge, like bleeding edge neuroscience stuff. Always pay attention to the science channel. If there's one channel in the Discord you should absolutely pay attention to, it's science. But I found it rather fascinating, and I would like to see more research on it. Absolutely. Let's see. Scientific but far more effective than say you were not depressed. Stop saying yeah. One of the doctors that Sai saw, they were like, oh, it's just all in your head. You just need to get over it. You don't need such and such medication. Meanwhile, I found her condition by watching a TED Talk, and I was like, that sounds like Sai, like, dead on. And so the next time we went to the doctor, I was like, I think she needs to be tested for this. And the doctor's like, I don't really think she has that. And I'm like, no. I really think she does. And then she got tested for it, and she absolutely had the thing. The doctor was like, classic case. So, do your own research. Don't expect your GP to know everything, because they don't. Because they deal with a lot. They're the general practitioner. You need specialists. Yeah, the one telling him to get over it. Yeah. Fuck that guy. He should lose his medical license. Meanwhile, I was able to peg down all of Sai's problems because I knew her well enough that, like, when I came across these things, I was like, nope, it's that. And I was like, you need medication for this. And then I think it was her that we like the medication worked, but it didn't work well enough. Hey, Death. Here's one about when gamers solve a real world mystery. I will watch that later, but I will have the link open. Give us the executive summary. Thank you for the hydrate and the concussion. But yeah, when I figured out one of Sai's problems, it just opened up like a flower. It was like a peony. You take away the first petals, and then there's like a gazillion more. And eventually we narrowed it down to a few things, found out what it was. She's genetically resistant to medications, so the medications she was taking weren't helping properly the way they were supposed to, and she was on slightly the wrong ones. Because, you know, it's like my ADHD medication, I can take one version of ADHD medication, but I can't take the other. You need a very specific one. And the same thing with my depression. The Zoloft didn't really do much for me. Like, it gave me a baseline and I turned into like a zombie. But the venlafaxine works so well for me that, like, I am an actual functioning adult. Which is shocking. Combined with the ADHD medication really helped. And I think maybe if I had started taking the ADHD medication before the antidepressant, we might find that I don't need to take the ADHD or the antidepressant. Because a lot of times, undiagnosed ADHD in women often manifests as depression, anxiety, and other variables like that. It doesn't help that I also have sleep apnea because I'm fat. But I haven't been using my machine or my mask because I haven't found a place to plug it in yet in this disaster of a room. It's cleaner. I can walk from my door to my window on the other side of the room now without having to climb over things, and it's nice. I think games are able to pull that off is insane, but also why, more times than not, the human element can be more effective than a machine. Thing about gamers found a cure for AIDS. I'll watch it after stream, which would be very soon. But yeah, Necromancer, if you can, like, if you think that it might have a chance at helping you, 100% do the thing. I would talk to your employer and see if you can, like, do reduced hours but still continue working. That way you don't disrupt your life too much and, you know, have to worry about financial stuff in the meantime, because a month off work while doing a medical procedure is kind of crazy in America. Like, even with insurance. Especially, like, weird edge case medical procedures. Insurance really hates paying for those. So, but, like, if you have a chance at possibly really vastly improving your life, like, go for it, man. Give it a chance, see what happens. I would totally see if you can talk to your employer about, like, reduced hours for the month or something. Because, you know, the more present you are in your life, the more the people around you can enjoy your presence, because you're present. It'd be a present, a gift. More time with those that you love. I am too sappy to be a Demora. I'm full of cheese and corn. And with that, I am sending you off to the other cheese and corn man, our fellow friendly artist Evan Blair Art will off sailing to other waters. Everybody, thank you for coming today. I will see you tomorrow at the usual time. Hopefully just as cheerful as today. I'm doing a lot better today than it was yesterday and the day before, that's for sure. Sorry you came in right at the end, Death, but no, that's how it is. Necromancer, thank you very much for the 5 gifted subs. And everybody, thank you for sharing your time with me today. And Ross Riders, congratulations on streaking for 60 days straight. That is wild. And everybody, I will see you tomorrow. May you wash ashore in distant lands and find new adventure. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.